So, ladies and gents, boys and girls, Happy New Year and a happy hangover to all of you. I am Cezar Habeanu, and tonight we're just gonna try to start off the new year in a nice way and see if we can do a little mix. I think this is gonna be an easier mix than the previous one, but you know, it's gonna be a very modern rock song, pop rock song, more or less. But it has this very metally feel, um, and it's by Dragged Under, and the song is called HLC. So, without further ado, I'm gonna show you guys how it all sounds like without me touching anything, and then I'm just gonna guide you guys through what I'm supposed to be doing on this one. So, this here are the raw, more or less raw multi tracks of HLC by Dragged Under.
Sometimes I wonder how we ever made it this long. All the hurt I've ever caused you can't help but remember, but I can't help myself. Sometimes I lose my temper. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea.
So, folks, that was Hey Chelsea, and we're gonna be trying a little mix on this one over here. So, let's kind of dive into it, and I'm gonna switch you guys to the Cubase mixer view, just so you guys can see exactly what's happening over here. So, what I've done over here is I have grouped the drums. I've colored the drums in blue, so these ones are the drums. This is the drum parallel compression bus, and all of these things over here are feeding into my first drum bus over here. So all my groups are on the right side, groups, buses, whatever you want to call it. So these are the drums here. This is the bass, guitars, backing vocals, and lead vocals. So I'm gonna show you guys, because yes, we're gonna start with the drums. I'm gonna show you guys how the drums sound like. What's good about this session? What's yeah, it's great because like on most modern rock songs, this is not a session in which the drummer actually played. So this is more or less a drum written sessions. So the signal is more or less processed on most of them. So let's listen to it for a second. Let's hear what we've got to deal with. So the drum is already sounding processed. It's not exactly in the best way. It's not exactly finished, is what I mean. But it sounds very, very good. And then we're going to have the bass, which is this group over here. And the bass consists into separate tracks. So I've got the DI bass over here, which is this one. And apart from that one, I've also duplicated this track and I've amped it so I can give it a bit more grit. So this is the rock bass. Now on most rock songs, you're gonna want to have the bass behave like a guitar, which means it has to be driven. But then if you drive the bass too much, you're gonna lose quite a bit of that low end. So what we're going to try to do in this session is we're going to try to blend these two. So I'm going to take more or less the bass from the DI track and the mids and the grit from the amped track. So that was the bass. These are the guitars over here, and there's quite a few of them, and they're very, very well stacked. Let me show you guys. There's also a little solo part. Well, it's not exactly a solo, but it's written as it's a solo. It's more like a lick, and they're around here. So it's these ones over here. Right. So the guitars, and now we've got a lot, and I mean a lot, of vocals. So what we have over here on the lead vocals, so just on the lead vocals, we have a dubbed session, a dubbed track on each of the verses and on the chorus. So on the verses, we're going to have a mono dub, and on the choruses, we're going to have a stereo dub. So this is how the lead vocals sound like without the dubs. On the verse, for example.
There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed.
So this is when the vocal double comes in, and it sounds like this.
There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed. Trying to make peace with my past, but it's my enemy.
Of course, there's a few problems over there, which we're going to try to solve if possible, and if they're going to be loud enough to hear in the mix. So on the chorus part, we've got vocals over here.
Hey Chelsea,
This is the lead vocal.
I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me.
And these are the stereo doubles, which are freaking amazing.
Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all.
And there's going to be a lot of fun doing this. And then grouped to the backing vocals, we have the woes. So it's more or less the theme of the song, the boys singing, which is this.
Whoa, whoa.
And it's amazing. And on top of that, we're going to have a few harmonies here and there, like these ones.
I'm not always gonna be. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all.
And some other harmonies. Well, I don't think they're exactly harmony. I think they're more like a double thing. Oh, let me just group these things in because I'm probably going to be processing them.
Look in my eyes. Back that you don't recognize.
So I'm processing them together. So what I did over here, what the session looked like, and if any of you guys wants to download the multi-tracks, you can find them in the video description down there. But what I did over here is I've tried to group the left and right as much as possible together so I can process them together in the same plugin. Hi, Death Rules. Welcome to the mixing session, bro. This is exactly what my approach is going to be. There's a lot of stereo tracks over here, and because there's a lot of stereo tracks, especially the backing vocals and the guitars, I'm going to try to stack them both together and mix them as a group. So what I did over here in Cubase is I've linked channels. So again, I've told you guys in the last session, if you watched it, if you link a channel in Cubase, so I'm just going to unlink them. If you link a channel in Cubase, you have several options over here for linking. So I don't want the pans to be linked or the EQ to be linked. But as in this session, I'm going to be using my console 1 thing, which is basically, today it's going to be predominantly an SSL 9000K strip. If I go with the inserts, if I select the inserts to be linked, this means whatever I'm doing on the left channel or on the right channel, it's going to mirror on the left channel as well, or vice versa. So it's going to be a bit easier to process and all of that. So enough for the introduction over here. The first thing that I want to do in any song that I'm doing is I want to do the volumes, basically, so I can have a bit of an idea of what I want from the song. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to play the song and see if I can get the volumes to the levels that I kind of want for everything. So again, let's play the song and let's see what happens. Second, let's put those woes a bit higher because we want them to drive the song.
Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea. Here I am again, I always get it wrong. Sometimes I wonder how we ever made it this long. All the hurt I've ever caused, you can't help but remember. But I can't help myself. Sometimes I lose my temper. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea.
So you're asking me why don't I do the kick and the snare in a single group? Because at the beginning of the whole thing, I want to be able to control whatever whatever kick mics I have over here and whatever snare mics I have over here. So as you can see, I'm just gonna start to dive into to the mixing process. So these are the kick tracks over here. So I've got 4 kick tracks. If I link them, or if I group them together, at the moment, I don't want to link them together, or at least not now. And if I group them into a single bus, I'm just gonna make things more complicated for me. So I'm gonna try. These are not tracks that need to be processed a lot, so I'm good with them like this. If I'll need later on in the mixing session to just increase the kick or anything else, what I do usually is I just link this, and I've got the volumes linked on everything. So I'm just gonna go doing that. At the moment, I don't need to. So these are my kicks over here. Nice and punchy. These are my snares over here, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 snare mics as well. This is gonna be a once in a lifetime thing. I have to say I love the depth of this snare. Like, it has so much width with the whole thing. It's very spacious, and it's really, really, really snappy. So it's exactly what the doctor ordered for this type of a song. Now, the toms over here. Let me see where I can find the tom part. So this is the second tom. And this is both of them together. Right? So this is what I have on this one. Then overheads. And the room. So at this point, knowing that the drums are not exactly recorded, but they're actually triggered drums, what I want to do more than anything else is just to do a little bit of volume, to do the levels basically on the drums, just so I can make sure that everything is fine. I'm not going to need to compress them too much. I probably won't need to EQ them too much either. So I'm just going to start the drums over here, and I'll try to do the levels as I am. So the first thing that I use for leveling the drums are the overheads, because that's exactly where everything else is. Now the kick comes in. So this is the kick in. Kick out. Third kick, which is like a sub. And the room kick. Right, so snare, top, snare, bottom, and the one shot, which is, I don't know exactly what the one shot is. It's just in the multi-session. I kind of think like they're, let me just find out. I think this is like a second sample of a snare. They were in the multi-tracks, they were not exactly named the way I named them, so they were a bit more technical, so I didn't know exactly what this is. But it seems like this is the sample, which attacks a bit more, so I'm gonna have a bit more transient using this one. Nice. Now let's see the room mic of the snare. Oh, this is amazing. I don't even know if I'm gonna need a reverb on this one because it has so much gated room. Toms. Let me find a place where I have more toms, more rack toms. So I'm gonna need a bit more volume on that. Right, and then the floor tom. Let's listen to another part with the floor tom. Right, so I've got the room mic of the whole kit left, which is this one. So we'll kind of leave them like this for now. Let's listen to it a bit more. Yeah. So at the moment, I'm not really feeling like I really want to add any EQ or any compression because, again, this is how they came in from the MIDI instrument, the triggered MIDI instrument that we have. But what I want to do is I want to start doing the parallel group. Because even though they are amazingly powerful, I still want to give them a bit more crunch and a bit more depth. So I'm just gonna link the direct mics over here between them. So now is the moment where I actually group the snares, the kicks, and the toms. So what I want to do is I just want to send them to the parallel group or bus or whatever you want to call them. Right, so let's listen to the parallel. Now, what I want to use right now is the old SSL listen mic compressor. And let's see if we can make them a bit punchier than they already are. So I'd say this is about right. Now, let's do a blend, but I'm gonna need to find the chorus for this. Yeah, this is it. So what I want to do right now is I want to blend the parallel drums to the normal kit. The whole added depth over there is freaking amazing. Let's see if you guys said anything on the chat. Death rolls. You're saying, okay, makes sense. I'm more into metal mix. You need a lot more punch for kick and snare, so I group it and make some comp and clipping in the group. I do that as well, but what I want to do before anything is see if I need to do it. So this is, it has a metal song, a metal sound as a song, but I don't want to exaggerate from the beginning of the mix. So what I want to do at the moment is do my levels, my EQs, and compression properly. And later on in the mix, if I feel that I need more punch on anything, I'm gonna go back to the drums, and if I need to clip them, I'm gonna clip them. Now, what happens right now here is the drums are written, so they're not recorded by a drummer. I usually use clipping on a snare, for example, or on a kick when you have a lot of inconsistencies in the, you know, in the punch, in the transients. So I don't have that here because, you know, again, they're MIDI. If I did, I would have clipped them from the very beginning. A similar tool for that would be, you know, drum leveler, sorry, from Sound Radix, and that works. But I don't need to do them right now. For now, they sound good. So what I want to do right now is I'm gonna go on to the bass and already try to shape up a little bass tone, so it can go well with the drums, so I can have a good crest factor in the low end, and see if the guitars come in well and if they punch enough. If they don't, again, I'm gonna go back to the drums and take some more decisions. You're right, maybe I'll group the kicks and the snares together if I need to. But at the moment, I don't really feel like I need to do that thing. So let's start with the A bass. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch you guys to the console 1 view so you can see what I'm doing on the channel strip over here. So this is the console 1 OSD. So we're on the bass. What I want to do on the bass, on the DI part of the bass, is I want to cut as much as possible. The problem is this console does not want to cut too much. So I think I'm gonna change the strip just for this one, and I'm gonna use the SSL 4000 for the bass. I need to high cut right around here. I just want the low end from this one. I don't need the high end from it. And I'm gonna do a low cut at about 40, 35. I think 35 will be enough. So let's listen to how the DI bass and how my low end is with this one here. Now what I want to do is I want to raise the volume a bit on this one. Ah, Jesus. I did the same thing that I did last time. Just did the fucking parallel drums instead of the bass. Didn't know why I had so much high end. So anyway, again, I'm gonna switch the bass thing to my SSL 4000 strip. Cut the high end until about 100 hertz. Cut the low end until about 35 hertz, and let's see how it sits. Now, what I want to do is I want to raise the volume. Okay, so my low end seems to be sitting quite well. Now, I want to work on the bass amp track, which is this one over here. So I'm gonna low cut the thing up until about more or less 100 hertz. But again, if you guys are looking at the console 1 low cut thing. It says about 60 hertz, but it's not actually. It goes up to 100 hertz. So be wary if you guys are using console 1. Do know that it emulates the inconsistencies of the consoles as well as far as the EQs and the filters. So my 60 hertz is actually about 100 hertz, more or less. Yeah, I think I'm gonna change the strip over here to the 4000 as well, because it's gonna be annoying to cut properly. So now about 100 hertz is about 100 hertz, and I'm gonna take some of the mud off, which is usually located at about 200 hertz. So I'm just gonna take a 2 decibel thing. Nice. Start the DI bass. And let me start the drums as well, and let's see how the low end behaves. Okay, the cross factor is not too bad. I think I want a bit higher on the amped bass. Yeah, this is more or less what I want. So let's apply some compression. First, I'm gonna go to the DI bass, and probably gonna use SSL's thing. Just gonna go for maybe a 15 millisecond attack. Faster release. I want to compress the transients over here, but I don't want to compress them too fast because I still want some transient in. Just looking at the ratio right now, if I'm gonna go more like that on the threshold, or if I'm gonna go more on the ratio, but it seems fine right now. So let's do the same thing for the amped bass. Again, gonna have the same type of compression, so at about 15 milliseconds, right? 15 milliseconds with 20.20 seconds release, so 200. At this point in time, I actually want to raise a bit of attack on this one. Yeah. Now let's listen with the whole drum kit as well. So this looks fine. Now what I want to do is I want to go to the groups. So I'm going to switch you guys to the Cubase mixer view. I want to go to the groups and I want to raise just a tiny bit of the bass. Now, one of the plugins that I love most on bass is Oak Sound's Soothe. This is going to help me out with some of the mud that I have on the low end part of the bass. And I've got the whole demudding preset and everything comes standard with the plugin. And it's freaking amazing, and it's just going to clear up my low end a lot better. So this here's without it. And once I enable it, it kind of goes like this. So with this, it kind of helps me a lot in more ways. I don't think I'm gonna need to do sidechaining on this one, but yeah. SL4000E. So, what material do you use this channel strip for? What are the advantages and disadvantages compared to the other ones? So, death rolls. If you are using console 1, this is the type of mix that I've decided to use SSL 9000K on, and the main reason why I do that is because it's cleaner. The 4000 series consoles are a bit more colored, but then they have advantages and disadvantages. On a song like this, I want a cleaner sound because it's already gritty and nice, and I don't feel like I need to drive the whole thing a lot, at least not on the track level. Using the 9000 is nice, but it has very wide cues. So the EQ has super large cues, which means it's going to be a bit harder if you want to tame a certain small area of frequency. Now, if you use the 4000 series, yes, it's going to be more colored, but you have the advantage on the 4000 that the EQ is a bit more precise. So I used it for bass, the 4001, just because of that precision. It helped me with that. But, you know, you can try anything, like it's whatever suits you. Then you have the British Class A, which is super nice and punchy, which is more or less Neve emulation. And you have the American Class A, which again is super good, especially for drums, which is the API emulation of the thing. So if you're looking to use either of them, they're great. They have great compressors on them. I think the British Class A and the API are stepped, which is one of the main reasons why I don't use them on my on all of my mixes, because it's a lot harder to actually seek for a frequency or to seek for a frequency range, since I can only do, say, 100, 150, or 100 to 350. And the next step is 700, so it's quite large when I'm looking for certain frequencies. It's too much. So it's not appropriate for me. It's not appropriate on a day-to-day basis. Anyway, on a mix-to-mix basis. So now that I have my bass over here done right, what I want to do is I want to add the final bus punch to the drums, so we can move on to the guitars and everything like that. So this is how the drums and the bass sound like now. And what I want to do over here is I want to put a bus compressor on it. So there's nothing better on the SSLs than the SSL bus compressor. So I can use that one directly from SSL native. But I also have the X-Comp, which is basically a bus compressor with more control. And I really want to be able to control that thing a bit. So let's go for the X-Comp. And it's this one. It's really the same sound, the same thing, the same algorithm as they use on the bus compressor. So what I want over here is I'm looking for a ratio of 2, basically 2 to 0. I'm looking for an attack of about 30 milliseconds. And a release of 100 milliseconds to more or less copy the original setting of the SSL bus compressor. So let's see what we can get from this one over here. What's the knee? I don't really think I'm going to use too much of the knee, but So what I'm looking to take from this one is to add punch to the drums, which means I'm going to take about 2 decibels, more or less, 1.5 to 2 decibels of gain, and I'm going to try to compensate it from here. So let's add it back in. They're more or less level matched. Now, do I want the compressor not to react to the lower frequencies? Well, it depends. Let's see if we can find a way for it to react, but just a bit. I don't want it to do too much, so I'm just going to set the amount at 50%. And let's see what happens. Yeah, it's punchy enough. Let's put the bass on. So it's about right. So the difference between this time and last time is that last time, when I did the first mix about 2 days ago on the other song, the country song, I actually mixed it before. On this one, I did not. So you're gonna see me confused a bit, like in real life. But anyway, it's what it is, and if I'm gonna fail miserably at this, I'm gonna fail live, so you guys are all gonna see this. But we're moving on to the guitars. Very, very well recorded and damped. Now, what I want to do on these ones, again, like I told you guys before, I have them linked, which means if I modify a parameter on the left guitar, I'm going to modify it at the same time on the right guitar as well. So that's going to be nice. So switching you guys to the console 1 view of the guitars. So these are the two ridden guitars, the left and the right. What you're seeing on console 1 is the left one, or yeah, you can see the left one or the right one, whatever. So we're gonna make some EQ moves over here. Now, I always want to leave some low end, especially on metal guitars, because I want the rhythm to be there. So let's see if it copied the same settings. Yes, it did. Now, what I want to subtract on the EQ is that 200 hertz mud frequency that nobody likes. So, as you can see on the 9000 series, it's very wide. The cues are very wide, so I'm gonna have to sculpt it using the other parameters as well. So let's try to lower 200 hertz, and I just think I'm gonna take about 2. Yes. Now, what I want to do to compensate for that, let me see where it is to take this thing and to do this. guys, even though it looks like I'm pulling a lot, if you look at the line over there, it's not really that, the EQ curve, it's not really that much. I think this should do the trick. Now, let's see if I can do a low pass over here. Again, I'm not really trusting whatever the console 1 high cut parameter is saying, but this is about it. What I want to do on the top end over here is I just need to clean up some of the hissiness that comes in with the guitar, but the tone is fine. So cleaning up is what I need to do. So let's put them in context right now. Let's listen with the bass and the drums. It's blending quite well, actually. Right, so let's add a bit of compression over here to these guitars. So I'm going to be looking for I think I'm going to go for a slower attack. I don't really have too many options. I don't want to compress too much, so 1.6 should be a fine ratio. Let's see what happens when I start lowering the threshold. Okay, so I've compensated for the volume and everything, because once the compression started hitting it, it was going down a bit. So now I've got a second set of guitars, which are the ones that the song starts with. So this will be more or less the lower guitar. Again, they're linked, so whatever I'm doing on channel 1, I'm doing on channel 2 as well. Now again, I've got that mud frequency over there, which is about 200 Hertz. And I'm going to try as much as possible to get that out of the way. Yeah, this should do it. Compression. I think I want a faster release. Faster release on this one as well. probably going to be needing a bit more sculpting between these two, because I want this one to attack and this one to be more of a harmony. So the way I'm going to do that is I don't think I'm going to do it through console 1, because the 9000 is just not going to let me do any precise type of EQing, but let's try nevertheless. If it doesn't work on this one, we'll try something else. Yeah, it's super wide. Let's see. Rhythm. Let's see if we can do anything on this one to raise something else. Console 1. Let's do the high cuts. As good as I can get with the 9000 series. By the way, thank you for doing this live mix session. Helped me a lot better with console 1. I saw your entries in the Facebook groups. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. What can I say? I've used it for about 2 years, and I don't know how many people actually do use it, but there were not a lot of tutorials going on online, and especially in the DAWs that actually support it fully. So you saw maybe some of them in Logic Pro, and it's nice. You can, work in Logic Pro as well, but you still won't have all the features. Now with the updates and everything, you actually have the full featured console 1 with the track coloring and everything on Cubase and on Studio One. And I'm not entirely sure, but I think Ableton Live is fully supported as well. I'm not 100% on that. But Cubase is, so with this much integration, it's just a waste not to do it, if you know what I mean. And let's see what else we have over here. So I'm going to switch you guys to the Cubase track view to show you how the tracks look like. So these are the drums, this is the bass, and these are the two guitars, left, right, rhythm guitar, main guitars, and these are the second, the lower ones that we're using. So what else we have over here is a filtered pre-chorus. And let's see which one it is. Which is nice. So what we're gonna do on this one, mix review, is we're gonna raise the volume to begin with. I don't know if I'm even going to process these ones, but I'm going to try. So let's just solo them for a second. Do the low cut. I'm not going to do a high cut because I don't need to, but I'm going to do a bit of compression over here as well. So my release is the minimum, like on the other two. So let's switch to the OSD. So I did a low cut on the filtered guitars, which are these ones. I'm gonna take the eternal 200 Hertz out because I hate it. I think that's where all good mixes can fail. right? The thing with these multi-tracks is they're so well produced that I don't really need to do a lot on it. I'm barely touching the mix, I swear. Guitar ribbon enabled. Let's see how this drop goes in. Yeah, that's kind of good. Right, so what else do I have over here? I have a guitar crunch, which is, let me show you guys, it's this one over here. So it's a guitar that does just this. But it's very clicky as well as everything else. So let's switch to console 1, do the high cut and the low cut. Now, what I wanted to do with this one is I want to open it up a bit, like so, and do the 200 hertz cut trick, whatever. So let's widen this thing over here, and let's do a bit more precision work. Yes, the 9000 requires a lot of artistic skill, I swear. Let's look at the curve. So. Right, compression, slow attack, fast release. This one actually has a few clicks that I don't like, and it's happened in the tracking process. I don't know exactly if I can solve that. I don't think I want to solve that because that's not the purpose of this video, but I'm not exactly sure if I should put this one a bit lower. Yeah. This is gonna be it. Hey Chelsea. Lovely. So now that we're done with this, we just have a couple of solo track guitars. So let me show you. So we have these ones over here, which they're not exactly solo guitars, but they do kind of that. So it's not a solo in a proper sense, but it's a lot of pinching. So I'm just gonna stick with these guys, and because the production is so full, and because the production is the multi-tracks are so well produced, I'm gonna presume that he does not want these ones amped at all. So I'm just gonna see if I'm just gonna EQ them and then let them blend with the other guitars that we already have. Now this is the left and the right one, so let's make the stereo. Now as Death Rules was saying, this is that moment in time when I'm actually going to group all of them. I'm going to send them to the same group, and I'm actually going to create a full group for these ones because I want to have a bit more control. So let me show you guys how it's done in Cubase. You just gotta basically select the tracks over here, right click. I'm not exactly sure if you're seeing it, so let me make it like this. Right click, add channel to select the add group channel, sorry, to select the channels. And we're gonna have a stereo group, create inside the folder because we want them in the groups folder. I want to have independent control of these ones, and I'm just gonna make name them solo guitars or guitar solo. So on these ones, I'm actually going to be processing them directly from the group stage because I don't need to do it faster. Death Rules. That's right. That's also why I use Cubase Pro. Yeah, bro. I swear, with Console 1, it's the best. Even though Steinberg has done a lot of bad things throughout its existence, especially in the past 10 years, charging a lot on customers. This is actually one of the good things that it has done, actually implementing the full Console 1 support. So we have the guitars over here, and let's see if we can do a bit of EQing. So what I use for the groups, I'm going to use the Vice whatever Gambit series. I usually use that on the groups because it's more precise, and I can actually do it's a lot more flexible. But you know, stick around and you'll see. So the Console 1 OSD, I'm on the guitar solo group, and let's do the EQ over here. Filtering. Now, there's some very nice frequencies going on over there, and I really want to enhance them. Now, I don't really need a lot of body on these guitars, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna increase the Q a bit. This is where the body sits. So there's gonna be a lot of body offered by the other guitars, so I don't really want a lot of body from these ones. Let's see in context. They're sounding not bad at all. No, let's use a compressor over here. And should I use the FET compressor? Should I not? Or should I just use the CLA compressor? Yeah, let's see if we can use this one. They're very pointy. And I want a compressor, yes, with a slow attack, a faster release, but I want a leveler more than anything else. Right, so let's see how it sounds like with everybody else. I gotta tell you guys, it sounds so weird because they're not amped. But they're probably gonna be a lot better once the delay and the reverb kicks in. So let's just wait until then and see if we're gonna make any other decision. Grand. So I just have a feedback guitar. I'm gonna show you guys over here on the track view. I just have these two tracks over here to see what I'm meant to do with them. So it's a left thing, nice feedback, nice everything. This is one of those moments when I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with them, if I'm going to leave them like that or not, but I want to listen to the context. So let's mute the vocals. Yeah, I'm gonna compress them and I'm gonna demud that 200 hertz frequency. But because I'm gonna just do that, what I want to do over here is I want to put the default console one, which is the SSL 4000, because I have a lot more precision on the EQ. So let's go to the OSD view. On-screen display is on, I think. Let's check. Yeah. Right, so I want to low cut. I want 200 hertz down. So as you can notice, it's not as wide, the Q on these ones. They're not as wide, so this is the tightest I can get, right? While on any of the SSL 9000 Qs, they're all a lot wider. So we're taking about 2 decibels from 200 hertz. Let's see how it sounds like. Right, so let's put some compression on. Now, because the tone is so wide, I'm not gonna do a fast release on them, but I'm gonna do a slower release on them because I want them to be as stereo as possible. So let's try this. Yeah, it doesn't sound that bad. A bit more volume. Too much volume. Yeah, it's good enough. We'll see if we'll need to do anything else over there, like just messing with the levels more or less, but that's something that I'm actually gonna find out once the vocals are in. So before anything, I'm gonna move on to the lead vocals. Let's switch the mixer view. I'm gonna move on to the lead vocals, and like for those of you who were not here from the beginning, the lead vocals basically have a dub. So on verses, on all verses, there's a doubled track, a vocal double, and it's mono. And on the chorus, it's a stereo vocal. So we have 2 tracks left and right on the stereo for doubling, and we have only one for doubling on the verses. So let's play with these. The backing vocals are off. I don't want to hear the backing vocals at the moment. And I think I'm gonna process them all together, because otherwise it's gonna be a drag. So they're quite processed if you're listening to them.
There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed.
So what I usually do is my main vocals, the lead vocals, are in yellow. My doubles, in this case over here, they're in purple. So I did a bit of voluming, more or less, between them. Yeah, and we'll see if they can sound right. So let's try this.
There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed. Trying to make peace with my past, but it's my enemy. Refuse to speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize. Hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace.
Now, I don't really have any problem. I'm a singer myself, right? So I don't really have problems with vocal correcting, but man, when you vocal correct, use at least a good tuner, or do not push it, or push it in multiple stages, because there's a lot of crackle happening over there, and this is my tracked vocals. These are the multi-tracks that came in, so I'm not gonna stay and try to repair that, because it's gonna be a big waste of time. But the inconsistencies, not the inconsistencies, sorry, the noises that you're hearing over there, the clicks and all of that, the clips, they're on the track. So this is the chorus vocal, the one with the stereo dub that I've been telling you guys about.
Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all.
So it's gonna be quite fun to do all of that. Let's try to do them all in one and just mess with the volumes. Let's see if we can have a good EQ, and if they're good enough to, you know, get a different frequencies between each other, if they're tracked the way we want them to. If not, I'm just gonna create a buzz for the dubs and do the whole thing again. So let's try it like this.
There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with
This is the console 1 OSD, sorry, on-screen display.
There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with
I want to take the eternal 200 hertz out.
Happiness not guaranteed. Trying to make peace with my past, but it's my enemy. Refuse to speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize. Hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed. Trying to make peace with my past, but it's my enemy. Refuse to speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize. Hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace.
So this is the problem area. Every vocal recording has a problem area. This is where this one has it. So I'm just gonna increase the Q over here.
There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed. Trying to make peace with my past, but it's my enemy. Refuse to speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize. Hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. There I go again, repeating my There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that it will. To speak with me, can't look in my eyes.
Yeah, there's a problem area over here which is not going to be solved with an EQ. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the mixer view over here, and we're going to add in Oak Sounds Soothe, because as soon as we're going to dial in that compression over there, and I'm going to put it at the end of the channel strip, so it's basically going to be after it. As soon as I'm going to compress those harsh, nasty frequencies, they're going to get out more. So I'm just going to do a flat start over here. Hope you guys can see everything that I'm doing. And I've located The bad frequency is at about 700 hertz, more or less. Let's listen to it up. You can hear them there a lot. So what we want Soothe over here to do is just to take from here and relieve us of the harshness.
To speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back to you,
there's actually a second frequency, harsh frequency over here.
To speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back to you, don't recognize. Hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. To speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back to you, don't recognize. Hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from.
Jesus, there's a lot of it, isn't it?
To speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back to you, don't recognize. Hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. To speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back to you, don't recognize. Hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I.
Jesus Christ, I hate it when they're tracked like that. So again, this is the first time I'm mixing this song. I didn't know. I hate it when they're tracked like that because I need to cut that so much. And I hate it. Right, so let's compensate over here in console 1. And let's start giving it a bit of 3K push.
To speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back to you, don't recognize. Hands cover my face, I feel so.
Compressor. Which compressor do I want from this one? I think I'm gonna go with the FET compressor. If I'm gonna find it. Oh, right. I'm looking at the EQ. Sorry for that. FET compressor.
Speak with me, can't look in. To speak with me, can't look in my eyes.
So if you're listening to it properly, you can see that it's already compressed, so I'm not really willing to attack it too much and to push it too much. I want a slower release than that, and I still want it to be punchy, so I'm not going to go too far on the attack.
To speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back to you, don't recognize. Hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. To speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back to you, don't recognize. Hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace.
Now let's see how it's reacting to the chorus.
Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be.
There's still some boxiness. Let's see if we can find that one as well. This is one of those things that I don't think Soothe is going to solve properly, but we'll find out. So let's go back to the mixer view. I'm not really thrilled with how it's sounding.
To speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back to you, don't recognize. Hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. To speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back to you, don't recognize. Hands cover my face.
Now a bit of context.
To speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone
they're not sounding exactly like I want them to, but you know, we'll try. We'll try even more.
Speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize, hands cover my face, I feel so out of place.
Now what I want to do over here as well, and this is before Soothe, I want Soothe to be my last plugin, is I want to do the de-essing thing, so I'm going to use Vice DS. It does have a preset over there for vocals, and I'm really not going to be bothered doing much more than that. So I'm looking for vocals soft. Let's decrease the threshold, or decrease the threshold, and let's see if we can find it.
Just speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize, hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. Speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize, hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with.
This is when it's starting to suck. So on the OSD, sorry, on screen display, I need to give it a bit more bass now, because I need the bass.
Just speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize, hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea.
It's decent. It's not exactly amazing, but it's decent, so I can work with it. Let's get back to the Cubase mixer view. So I've got this one sorted, more or less. Not exactly what I want from it, but it is what it is. So right now I have the backing vocals, which consist of harmonies and more dubs and whoa, hey Chelsea thing. So let's do a little volume on them. Yeah, this is one of the things that sucks in Cubase. If you solo it, it's still muted on the tracks.
Just speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize, hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. Hey Chelsea, whoa, I'm not always gonna be whoa, all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Whoa, hey Chelsea.
Right. So it doesn't really suck. Not as much as I was expecting it to. So let's go again into console 1 and do the EQ for these ones too.
Can't look in my eyes. Back that you don't recognize. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace.
200 hertz lower. Just not a lot. I'm just taking 1 decibel over here. Now I do have my main vocals with a bit of a boost over here, so I'm not going to use the boost over here. I'm going to try to find a different frequency to boost, so I won't interact with the main vocal.
Can't look in my eyes. Speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize, hands cover.
Right. So what I want on these ones again is probably the FET compressor. And a ratio of 2.5 to 1, let's see. Again, a longer release because they're stereo as hell, and I want to have the words. Like, one thing about the singing thing with the compressor, and it's very nice. I've learned from a friend that the bigger the release is, the more the words are more coherent, and you can hear everything properly. The smaller the release, the more of a problem with that. Also, the attack time matters a lot. So if you're doing a whisper or a singer-songwriter type of microphone proximity thing like this, yeah, you're gonna want a smaller release. The more transient you want on the vocals, like rap or stuff like that, you want a smaller attack. Sorry, you want a bigger attack if you want more transient. If you're telling a story or just singing on a very nice low acoustic type of voice or in an acoustic type of setup, vocals on that will have a smaller attack time. But these ones, they need to push.
To speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize, hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace.
Alright, so let's listen to the context.
Speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize, hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea.
Nice, actually. I don't really have too much of a complaint over there. What I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna DS it anyway. So let's try the DSer over here and let's see how it works like.
Can't look in.
So Cubase mix review, right?
Can't look in my eyes. Back that you don't recognize. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace.
Right. And I'm gonna use soothe again. Not this much though. So I'm gonna decrease this. There's still some frequencies over here.
Can't look in my eyes. Back that you don't recognize. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace.
More or less. That is what I want from it.
Can't look in my eyes. Back that you don't recognize.
Now let's see how it sounds in context.
Speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize, hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea.
So we got to a point where the mix is okay. Let's look at the oversteer over here and let's see if it's doing what it needs to do. So the oversteer is on my mix bus, and I just wanted to take a tiny bit around here. I don't really want it to saturate very much, but just to give it some sparkle.
Speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize, hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea.
Right, let me listen in mono to the whole thing and let's see if the vocal levels need to be adjusted in any way.
I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea. Here I am again, I always get it wrong. Sometimes I wonder how we ever made it this long. All the hurt I've ever caused, you can't help but remember. But I can't help myself. Sometimes I lose my temper. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all.
actually sounds fine. Surprisingly. So, let's see if you guys have any more questions. I have to leave now. Well done so far. I'll watch it later. Thanks, man. Anytime. And if you have any tips or anything like that, make sure to, share them with everybody else. We're all learning here. Nobody's an expert. Even if some of them do claim on YouTube that they're amazingly good and they charge people for it. So, at this stage, we've done compression, we've done EQs, we've done a lot, basically. What we want to do right now is to, I think, add a bit of punch into the drums, exactly like Death Rules said. So I'm gonna go on a risk over here and try to use a clipper on the whole drum bus, and let's see if it actually works in any way. So this is standard clip. I'm not, I don't want to clip too much of it. Just want to see if I can get a bit of the edge off. Right, so that's it. And I'm gonna compensate this thing with about a decibel. Let's see if we've managed to get more clip into, more punch into these drums.
Sometimes I wonder how we ever made it this long. All the hurt I've ever caused, you can't help but remember. But I can't help myself. Sometimes I lose my temper. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I'm rising for.
Right, so we're doing fine. This is that moment in time when we're actually going to start adding reverb. So the first reverb that I'm going to add over here is my room reverb, which is over here. I'm just going to switch to the Cubase Mixer Simple View. And I'm using the SSL Flex Verb. So what I want to do is I want to calculate the reverb on to the tempo of the song, which is 155, right? So it's probably double. 155 is probably the double of the normal BPM, but let's just use this as a thing. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open a calculator, and I'm going to divide 60,000 by 155. Sorry, I've divided 6,000, I think. So 387 is what we have. So a good drum room, a good mix room should be at about around 1,900, 800, maybe 700, the lowest milliseconds. So 387 times 2 equals 774. 774 is going to be our reverb time over here. So let's do it. 774. No, 0.774. Right. So this is our reverb time. Now, before moving forward, what I want to do is I'm gonna cut everything under about 100 hertz because I don't need it, or 200 hertz, actually, because I won't need it in the reverb. It's just gonna bring more mud into the picture. I don't want that. So the way the EQ works is a bit weird, but we'll figure it out. So you can see the curve over there at about 200 hertz. It's going down. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with the highs as well. I don't want too many highs. But where is it though? Oh, it's this one. So I'm gonna leave the Q a bit wider, and more or less this is gonna be it. So this is my pre-EQ for the reverb. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link these tracks over here, and I'm gonna add the room reverb to all of them. So let's just send them into room. And I usually do it at about -20, and I'll see from there, and I'll just use the fader over here, the room fader, room FX reverb, whatever. So let's see how it sounds like now, with and without the reverb. So this is dry. This is with the reverb enabled. Now, there's this feature in Cubase that I cannot show you guys because it does not work properly if I'm sending it to OBS and I'm streaming, but you have this listen feature, which basically allows me to listen only to the reverb. You guys are going to hear the whole thing with reverb, but I'm listening only to the reverb, and I'm going to try to notch out some of the bad frequencies that I don't like and I don't want them reverberated. So let's try this. So that's something that I don't want. Let's see if we have any harshness at about 2K. What the fuck happened? Right, so there's a lot of stuff going on over here in the 1 to 2K range, and it's stuff that I really don't like. Just gonna notch out about 4 decibels from there, and I'm gonna notch out about 4 decibels from this one as well. So let's listen to the end result. Okay, it sounds good. Good enough. Good enough for jazz, as my friend Tom used to say. This is the track view, guys, so now you can see yourselves and what I do. So, yeah, you guys might have missed the reverb thing. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys what I did. So this is the room reverb. Sorry, I had the track view on instead of the mixer view. So I've just listened to the track, and I did the EQ over here on the flex verb. Then I've added the room reverb, which is the same flex verb over here. I've added it -20, and that's how I got to this end result. So from here, I'm gonna start doing the plates. I don't see the reason why I should do another snare reverb, as I'm really hearing it a lot. I don't really want to mess with it too much, and there's a lot of room into it. So a plate reverb would have been for something else, but not for this. What I want to do from here is add plates to the lead vocals. So the lead vocal is this one. I'm just going to use the plate reverb. But they're linked, sorry. So unlink tracks, the groups were linked. So unlink groups, plate reverb, plates. And as we do know, this is quite a fast song, so I'm not going to have too long of a plate. But the room reverb is already 774, so if I double that, it's going to be more or less 1.5, 1.5 something. So let's try it like this. And let's listen to what's happening.
I'm not always gonna be.
Nice. I want to take out a bit of that low end.
I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me, whether I rise or fall.
Runs. Now let's pull down on the send.
I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me, whether I rise or fall. You'll be with me through it all. I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me, whether I rise or fall.
Now I don't want to do much of it, but let's listen to it in context.
I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me, whether I rise or fall. You'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea. Here I am again, I always get it wrong. Sometimes I wonder how we ever made it this long. All the hurt I've ever caused, you can't help but remember, but I can't help myself. Sometimes I lose my temper. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me, whether I rise. There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed. Trying to make peace in my past, but it's my enemy. Refuse to speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize. Hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side, to catch me when I fall from grace. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed.
Going well.
Trying to make peace in my past, but it's my enemy. Refuse to speak with me, can't look in my eyes.
So I was just doing a bit of volumes over there. Now, what I want to do is I want to make the main vocals stand out a bit more. So the way I do that, over here it's done. They did, I think, or no, actually they double tracked the vocals on the choruses, but I think I want to make them a bit more stereo, a bit more focused. So the way I'm gonna do that is by adding another FX channel, right? Actually, I'm not gonna use the snare verb, so I'm just gonna write wider on this one, and I'm gonna use Soundtoys little micro shift. Now I don't know exactly if it's gonna work for metal or not, but we're gonna find out. I don't really get a lot of metal stuff to work with. So what I'm gonna do with these ones though, I'm gonna send them back to the main vocals, to the lead vocals, yeah? But I only want the actual lead vocals and not the dubs. I want the on these ones to be affected. So on, oh damn, forgot I linked them. So you go out and you go in there, and now we can link back again and be friends. Right, so I need about -16 over here. I really don't want to increase too much of that micro shift effect, but I still want the vocals to be focused. So let's see what happens here.
There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed. Trying to make peace in my past, but it's my enemy. Refuse to speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize. Hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side, to catch me when I fall from grace. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all of you.
Good. More or less. I'm not entirely sure about the volume on this one, but
There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed. Trying to make peace in my past, but it's my enemy. Refuse to
That's fine enough. Right, so what I want to do right now is I want to do a mono delay on so let me just rename this one over here. You guys cannot see it, but if I turn off the camera from the screen, this is the mono delay thing. Right, so I'm gonna do the mono delay on the vocals. Let's have a send over here to it. So again, I'm just gonna do the lead vocals. I'm not gonna do the backing vocals into this delay. I want to listen first to a verse part. So mono delay over there. Again, they're linked. Hell. And mono delay on this one as well. I think there's a link defeat thing, but I just couldn't be bothered to look at it. So
there I go again.
let's see, an eighth.
There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart. There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed. Trying to make peace with my past, but it's my enemy. There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed. Trying to make peace with my past, but it's my enemy.
Let's see in context.
There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed. Trying to make peace with my past, but it's my enemy. Refuse to speak with me.
Right? So why not? So I want minus 20 on this one as well, because it's probably going to be the same. 20.3 and minus 20.3 on this one as well.
There I go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed. Trying to make peace in my past, but it's my enemy. Refuse to speak with me, can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize, hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna make all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea. Here I am again, I always get it wrong. Sometimes I wonder how we ever made it this long. All the hurt I've ever caused, you can't help but remember. But I can't help myself. Sometimes I lose my temper. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna make all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea.
Right, so now we got to the solo guitars, which are the ones that I want to use a bit of a stereo delay for. And now let's try to find a stereo delay, proper stereo delay for everything. Let's see if they have any presets, and we have a guitar answer over here. Let's see if it works. Where are those guitars? They're here. It's just a bit of it. And let's see if we can pan them a bit more. Right? Why not? I'm not sure at all, but let's do the low filter as well. What I want from this delay over here is a bit more harmonics, a bit more sustained. So the way I try to do that is by leaving it a very narrow frequency area. So yeah, that increases a bit of its perception. Let's see how it sounds in context. Let's try on the OCD. Let's try a faster attack. So medium. Summit Audio TLA 100. Right. So right now it sounds good. I think we can go on to the next stage of our mix, which is, again, let me take off the camera for a second, which is the mix bus. So first thing we want to do on the mix bus is put the SSL. I have, by the way, I did not need to use any saturation for this mix. For a certain reason, I just have the oversteer and it's saturated enough. And until this stage, I did not need it. I do have the option of using the console one THD, but I just did not feel the need for it because the multi-track's already kind of saturated enough. So anyway, I'm going with the bus compressor 2. The nice, amazing thing about the bus compressor over here is that it has oversampling, so I'm just going on 4. I want, again, 30 millisecond attack, a fastest release, because we want this to be as punchy as possible. And I'm not sure, but we're going to go to about 90 hertz with the high-pass filter, and let's see what happens. You give your heart to me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed. Trying to make this in my past, but it's my enemy. Refuse to speak with me and can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize, hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea. So, for those of you who are watching the OSD, because this always happens to me, because I forget about it, about changing the views. So, what I did over here is I've just put the bus compressor over here on the mix bus. I've put it on the first insert slot. Threshold, it doesn't really matter. its maximum, I think. No?
Go again, repeating my mistakes. You give your heart to me with trust that.
So that's the threshold. The attack is 30 milliseconds. The ratio is 2. The release is 100 milliseconds. So it's the first release over here, the lowest release. And I did a high pass filter at about 90 hertz. So the compressor does not react to the low frequency. Anyway, this is how it sounds like right now. What we want to do from here is to go on with a bit of Pultec style EQ. So I'm going to use the Plugin Alliance Rainworks Better Maker for this, because it's the cleanest one I can find, and it's lovely for mix bus and mastering duties. I'm going to go to the chorus, and let's see if we need to raise any frequencies from here. So directly when I'm looking at this, I want more top end, and I'm gonna go to about 8 kilohertz over here, and I'm gonna increase some of the top ends. I don't feel it's too harsh. Maybe my monitors are not precise enough, but I don't feel any harshness. So I'm gonna go on to the master bus, which is my stereo out, this one over here. So the first thing that I'm gonna do on my master bus is put a Vice EQ1 in linear phase, so we can start taking out some of the frequencies we do not want in this mix. So the way we do that is, first off, we're gonna do a 20 kilohertz cut, but sorry, before anything, so before this, we're gonna switch to MS mode, and not, I don't want it to be dynamic, so I'm gonna have it linear phase, LP mode. I don't want it to be ganged because I want to control the mono and the side signals separately. So first off, channel 1 is my mono, channel 2 is my side. So on my mono, I want to do a cut at about 20 kilohertz, more or less, because I want to clean up some of the bad frequencies around there coming from the bass and everything else gathering up, and the drums as well, the bass drum. So from here, I'm gonna start looking and hunting for frequencies that I do not like. So this is one that I hate. Not hate, but just don't think it's supposed to be there. It's the way it works, man. So let's listen with it. That's doing a good job. Number 2, let's hunt for the other frequencies. This is annoying, yes. And it will immediately go down. what else do we need to do? Let's see if I have any other bothersome frequencies over here in my high mid to towards the top end. So I kind of thought that the guitars are going to bother me, but they're not actually. I thought they're going to be a bit harsher. They're not. Or at least not on the mono channel, side of the channel. So let's go on the side. What I'm going to do on the side is, again, low cut, but this time it's going to be a bit higher. So at about, say, 49 to 50 hertz. I don't want it to be stereo over there, so I want my low end, I want it more or less to be nice and tight. So let's hunt for frequencies. There's not a lot of things that I don't like. Nothing is really peeking out. Maybe over here, but maybe minus 0.50 dB. It's really not something that I really need to do, but you know. It's fine. So, more. I'll be honest with you guys, I was expecting a lot more harshness. This is something that I don't like. So let's see if it changed a lot. So I'm gonna bypass the EQ. Now I'm gonna enable it. Have a problem with it. I like it, even though it might sound harsh. It should sound harsh. It doesn't actually. As soon as I'm gonna add a bit more low ends to the whole thing, it's just gonna be there. So that low end is gonna come in from my saturation, which is gonna be fab filter. Not fab filter. It's gonna be tape from Softube. So let's put that on and let's listen to the whole thing with it on. Because I don't think I'm gonna need to de-harsh it. This is gonna help us enough. So let's look at the THD and let's wiggle with the amount. I want no more than 1 decibel of saturation. Noticed how those guitars, because I knew this was going to happen, I noticed how those guitars, because of the tape emulation, those guitars just went a bit more in the back, and then the vocals are coming in better, and there's more space for everything. That's the way it works. Production musical. Man, really, if you write in English, I would really understand what you're saying, but I don't know, Jose. I don't know any Spanish, man, so please write in English so I can answer. I do not know Spanish, and I can't. Not at this time. I can't Google Translate or anything because I'm supposed to be doing this mix. So please write in English. Right, so next thing on the line over here, I think is going to be Oak Sound Soothe. And let's see if we need to take anything out of it. So I'm just going to go on the mastering presets that they have over here, which is the clicky one. It's always the clicky one, if you ask me. But let's listen to what it's doing. See those frequencies? Those are exactly the ones that I sometimes want to attack. So let's see how it sounds like with it on. Nice. So this is as much as I'm going to go on the master with it. I don't think that I'm going to need to compress anything more than this. Again, because it's lovely what the overstayer is doing, the Softube overstayer. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to move on to my final two plugins in the mastering stage, which is basically a clipper, and I'm using standard clip, and I'm going to try to clip 1.5 decibels from there, and then we're going to limit, and we're going to aim for about -8, -7, I don't know. I don't want it to be louder, I just want it to be dynamic still. It is rock, it is nice and saturated, but I want to keep some of the dynamics. We're not in the 90s anymore, and if it sounds better with more dynamic range, fine. So what we're going to go with over here is standard clip. And we're just going to use it on the Softube classic thing. Soft clip classic thing. And let's see how much we can get out of it. Now I'm clipping quite a bit over here, but don't be fooled by that. It is a rock song in the end, so we can do that. And what I want to do is not to have my limiter push too much. Nice. So now for the final stage of this whole thing, we're going to be doing our limiter. And I'm going to use the Vice limiter again, Mastering Maximizer, MM1. And yeah, let's see how much we can push. I'm going to use the wide algorithm. That's because it processes MS, which means middle is compressed, it's limited on its own, and the side is limited on its own. So that way I can actually have control over it, and I get a bit more stereo width without having to run any phase problems, right? So
wonder.
Just a second, let's put the minus 0.1.
I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea. Here I am again, I always get it wrong. Sometimes I wonder how we ever made it this long. All the hurt I've ever caused, you can't help but remember. But I can't help myself. Sometimes I lose my temper. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea.
So it's more or less good. Now, after I've started doing the limiting and everything, again, one of the things that I love about keeping everything in the same session is now I can actually go to the guitars a bit and I can de-harsh them tiny wee bit with Brainworks refinement, because as soon as it goes into multiple stages of compression, of course, some harshness is going to come out. So the way I do that is with Brainworks limiter, Brainworks refinements. And now let's listen to what we're hunting for. So, context is what we need right now. And let's listen to the whole thing.
I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea. Here I am again, I always get it wrong. Sometimes I wonder how we ever made it this long. All the hurt I've ever caused, you can't help but remember. But I can't help myself. Sometimes I lose my temper. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll...
Now, what I do want a bit more in this case is just a tiny wee bit of bass. So for that, I'm going to go back to my Pultec EQ 22. And I'm going to look at the 60 hertz frequency. And I'm just going to boost 0.5 maybe, or 1. Let's see what works better.
I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea. Here I am again, I always get it wrong. Sometimes I wonder how we ever made it this long. All the hurt I've ever caused, you can't help but remember. But I can't help myself. Sometimes I lose my temper. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea.
And one thing over here is I need to turn off a bit of that room. Now again, like I did on the last mix, of course, there are always very small things that you would like to correct and, you know, come back to and look at. But I think for tonight, this is quite enough. for about 2.5 hours, 3 hour mix, whatever we did over here. I don't know exactly how long I'm streaming, but so I'm streaming for about 2 hours and 20 minutes. So yes, it is good enough for this. So now let's take every plugin off and every send off, and let's see what we started from. So I think this is the chorus.
Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be.
Again, these were very good multi-tracks. I can't really complain about it. Now, this is after processing, after we've done our mix and attempted the master.
Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be. All that you expect from me, whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all.
So guys, this is gonna be it for tonight. What I'm gonna do before leaving is I'll let you guys listen to the whole song, the whole finished session. It took us about 2 hours and 20 minutes to get here. It was not the hardest session. I didn't really have to correct too much of it, but it was a nice metal session, and it was a nice mix session for the 1st of January. Right, so let's listen to the mix. This here is... Sorry, this here is Dragged Under Hey Chelsea. I just closed the mic before. Turned it off. So, enjoy it.
To me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed. Trying to make peace in my past, but it's my enemy. Refuse to speak with me and can't look in my eyes. When you see someone staring back that you don't recognize, hands cover my face, I feel so out of place. But you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be. All that you expect from me, whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea. Here I am again, I always get it wrong. Sometimes I wonder how we ever made it this long. All the hurt I've ever caused, you can't help but remember. But I can't help myself. Sometimes I lose my temper. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be. All that you expect from me, whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea. The less you hope from me, the less I'll let you down. Escaping great expectation. The more I promise you, the more I let you down. I can't meet great expectation. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be. All that you expect from me, whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea.
So, what I did notice over here is that these whoa vocals were not exactly as loud as I wanted them, and as in the background as I wanted them.
Whoa!
So what I want to do from here, just before I let you guys off, I'm gonna do a bit of a reverb over here, and I'm just gonna process them just a bit more. This is one of those things that I didn't really listen to a lot. in the beginning. So I'm just going to add an FX track again. Actually, I'm going to do a send directly. Add FX to send 1. And this time, I think I'm going to go with 7th Heaven. And use a reverb with a bit of a longer decay time. So let's put a hall over here. So I've got 7th Heaven. This is the hall algorithm. I need about a 3, I think. 3-second hall and a large hall. So let's listen to what it does. On these 3 things.
Whoa!
Right. Now, the master equalizer, I want to low cut everything under about 200 hertz.
Whoa!
I want to high cut everything above 10 kilohertz.
Whoa!
Right? And let's see what we're pushing on the reverb.
Whoa!
That's it. Now, let's back off with the send.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Right? So, let's see. Now, as you guys may have noticed, I've maxed the volume over there, which means I need to, let's go to the track view, and I'm gonna increase a bit of the gain over here coming in, so we can have a bit more headroom, right? So let's see if we can get these ones to sound a bit louder. Nice.
Whoa!
Still a bit too much hall over here, maybe.
Whoa!
Okay, so let's make a bit of space for them. And let's just group. This is the channel 1 on-screen display. So what I did is I did a bit of a low cut, and I want to increase their high end.
Whoa!
To match the vocal a bit, the main vocal, and decrease some of their low end.
Whoa!
Or like it. Now let's see how it sounds like in context. Now, what I'm gonna do from here is I'm actually gonna push a tiny bit of compression.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
But I need a punching compressor, so this is not exactly a punchy compressor. So I do know that the British Class A is a punchy compressor, and it's punchy as hell, but its release is grand. It's auto. Let's see if this experiment works.
Whoa!
Grand. So this is
Whoa!
the right side vocal, but it's going too much. I do not like it that much. So let's get back to the 9K compressor.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
get it all properly done. Release 2.7 seconds. Is it this high? No, it shouldn't be this high. So we're gonna have it at about 1.5. It kept the settings from the British Class A.
Whoa!
Ran, so let's see in context. And now it's sounding more properly. What we can do on these ones is actually we can drive them a bit and give them a bit of some character.
Whoa! 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 Whoa!
So yeah, folks, this was it for tonight. I finally done these vocals as well. They kind of sound good in context. I hear them. So I'm liking the way it sounds like, and I'm liking what happens over here. Of course, again, if I need to, tomorrow I'm gonna go and watch and listen to it some more. Again, this is without the inserts. This is without anything that I've done today. So it goes like this.
Hey Chelsea! Whoa! I'm not always gonna be. Whoa! All of you expect from me.
And this is with everything on.
Hey Chelsea! Whoa! I'm not always gonna be. All of you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea! Hey Chelsea! Here I am again, I always get it.
So folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm gonna leave you guys with HLC one more time, the song from the top. Have yourselves a great evening, and we'll talk next time. I'm gonna do a live stream, which is probably gonna be in about a couple of days. Now, if you have learned anything from here, and if you do want to ask me any questions, feel free to comment in the section down there. And if you like what's happening on this channel, and if you like the way I do my mixes and the way I use my console 1 and everything, Cubase and all of that jazz, feel free to subscribe to the channel and be notified every time I'm actually doing, and push the bell button as well to be notified every time I'm actually doing a new live stream. So again, I'm gonna leave you guys to with the video with HLC, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.
To me with trust that it won't break. Anticipate apologies, happiness not guaranteed. Trying to make peace in my past, but it's my enemy. Refuse to speak with me again. look in my eyes when you see someone staring back that you don't recognize. Hands cover my face, I feel so out of place, but you're still by my side to catch me when I fall from grace. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea. Here I am again, I always get it wrong. Sometimes I wonder how we ever made it this long. All the hurt I've ever caused, you can't help but remember, but I can't help myself. Sometimes I lose my temper. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea. The less you hope from me, the less I let you down. Escaping great expectations. The more I promise you, the more I let you down. I can't meet great expectations. No. Whoa. Hey Chelsea, I'm not always gonna be all that you expect from me. Whether I rise or fall, you'll be with me through it all. Hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea, hey Chelsea.
So guys, this was it. Have yourselves an amazing new year. Have yourselves an amazing evening. And I will catch you guys next time on my next live stream. Make sure to subscribe, to hit that notification button over there. And, ask any questions if you have anything you did not understand in this whole live stream. Yeah, I know I did a few mistakes here and there where I messed up with the views and everything, but I'm just getting used to this thing. I've been mixing here without a camera for a while, and now when everything started like this, I have to manage more than one thing, and this is not a pre-recorded video, so it's human and it's normal. Have yourselves a great time and have a happy new year. See you guys probably tomorrow or